McLaren. They may be struggling in Formula One a little bit at the moment, but there's no denying it is an iconic name. If you're even a little bit of a motorsports fan or petrol head, just mentioning it will definitely bring up an image in your mind. To some, it means the iconic F1 road car. To others, you might think of Mika Häkkinen's battles with Michael Schumacher in the late 1990s. To others, you think of Ayrton Senna and his iconic white and red car. For some, it might mean James Hunt or even Niki Lauda. There are so many great McLaren cars, both on and now off track. But I'm sure many of us, myself included, rarely actually stop to think about the man whose name adorns a very nice building in Woking, New Zealander Bruce McLaren. He was very much of the Colin Chapman mould, being equally happy designing his own cars as he was building them. A very, very successful man in his own right. His story is perhaps not anywhere near as well known as it should be. Well, fortunately there is now a film, simply titled McLaren. It follows a recent spate of very successful and very well put together motorsport films, including things like Senna, the TT movie, Road, and a few others. Making a documentary film is no easy task, and it's extremely difficult when your subject unfortunately passed away more than 45 years ago. However, Roger Donaldson, the director of this film, has done an extremely good job. Now, his name may be familiar to you because he is the man that directed films like The Bank Job and one of my personal favourites, The World's Fastest Indian. They've used an interesting technique for the McLaren film. A large part of it is your traditional documentary fare, so they got a lot of interviews, both current and historical, with people that worked with Bruce, that were family members, friends, all the important people in his life. And they've also decided to recreate certain elements and events in his life, and they're not meant to be completely historically accurate recreations, but they basically try and give you a sense of the spirit, the atmosphere of the era, and I think they do that very, very well. The guy's story is incredibly interesting, and his loss truly was a tragic one to the motorsport world. Not really knowing anything about the guy, I really didn't know what to expect from the film, but I enjoyed it from start to finish, and I've seen quite a few documentaries about that period of motorsport, but with this film I saw a lot of footage that I didn't recognize. There's some that of course most people will, but there's a lot of new footage that will be of definite interest to anyone that's interested in that era of Formula One and motorsport in general. You have some real insights into the kind of atmosphere, and it's quite interesting to hear how different a company McLaren was back then, considering McLaren nowadays is such a serious, business-like entity. It really was sort of a bit of fun back then, and that film definitely evokes that spirit. I think overall I'd give the film about an 8 out of 10. There's only a few things that really disappointed me, and most of those really concerned what happened to the firm after his untimely death. Now, obviously the film is about the man, and the film basically ends pretty much when his life does, but there's a few things I'd like to have known a little bit more about, like how McLaren kind of transitioned into the company that we know now, where Ron Dennis entered the picture. And also, one thing that did kind of surprise me is that I didn't know that Bruce originally didn't use orange as a colour for his racing cars. It was quite a late development, but that was never ever mentioned, considering that orange is the colour that is synonymous with McLaren. They didn't mention it in the film at all, and I would like to have maybe seen just something explaining, where that came from. Was it something on a whim? Was there something more significant about it? I don't know. I'd love to know. But considering you can now buy the film to rent, to download, do whatever you want with it, you get it on DVD, Blu-ray, or digital, I would highly recommend purchasing it. It's a great addition to any motorsport fan's film collection, and I would say it is perhaps not anywhere near as engaging and controversial as Senna, but it is possibly more enjoyable because it doesn't attempt to be. It is a celebration of the guy's life rather than trying to achieve any sort of aims, and I really appreciate it for that. It's enlightened me and informed me and entertained me, which is what a documentary film should do. So yeah, McLaren, go buy it, go watch it. Thanks for watching.